Good evening. Good evening. How many of you have seen this before? Okay. Okay, a good number of you. Some of it's your first time. So, okay. We'll have to talk. You'll have to watch it again because there's so many Easter eggs, but we'll talk about that as we go. My name is Crystal, and I am a host and from the League of Extraordinary and Excellent Negroes. And we host a podcast with the House. And I am going to be trying to wrangle these people. So don't judge me for how I talk to them today.
She's abusive.
A little aggressive. It was a little aggressive, but we gotta do what we gotta do. They love to talk. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and kind of your relationship to the house, and then we'll get into it.
My name is Alex Bridgman. I am an illustrator, and I've known Jade for 8.
Oh my God.
Where time goes on. So I've known the podcast for, I guess, not the same amount of time, but
the
close.
original podcast was Alex and myself.
Yes. And I guess we're just a little too dry, so we need, we added some more people. So, no, but I think everybody up here is really funny and fun, and I'm just excited to have
Thank you, Alex.
a peaceful conversation. I don't know. It won't be peaceful.
Okay, James. I have some hard.
Oh, it's me. Hello, my name is Jade Rogers, and I'm the founder and chief innovation officer for the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls.
Hello. I'm Julia Parker, and I am on the board of the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls. Yes, I am treasurer, and I have known Jade since I was 6 years old. Yeah.
You were 8?
8, yes. I'm not telling you how long that is. Don't ask.
Forever.
I wasn't aware there was like a whole history component to it. All right. My name is Marcus Ross. I'm a board game designer, and I don't know. Let's see. I met Jade when she came to my medicine. No.
Well, thank you for introducing yourselves. Thank you to everyone for being here. I watched this on the streaming service, and that was a great time watching with my mommy. But being in community to watch it together, I think, adds something special. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for participating and making this a very special movie-going experience. And so now we'll get to have a discussion with these wonderful panelists. I'm going to start with Jade with a hard question. She knows it's coming, though. Why this
That doesn't
film?
mean I remember it.
Yeah, why this film? And why did we choose it? Why did you think it fit with the mission of the house?
There were a lot of pictures that we chose. This was, I think, the original. And then we said, oh, no, they'll never let us do that. And so then we went in other directions, and none of those things seemed to work out. And then we just came back to this one. It's like, well, will it work? And it did. I think that this movie has so much going on, from the language to the costumes to the themes of slavery and
Assimilation.
thank you, that word.
You gotta say it though.
Say it in the mic.
Assimilation. There's just so much in this movie that we wanted to talk about. And I think that for the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls, we want to be able to talk about all of the things that impact community. And this movie has so much going on that we thought that it would be perfect.
Great answer. And that's also a good segue. There's so many things in this movie we won't be able to talk about. I'm going to name a couple, just so you know we thought about it. The kid being so cool with being in the car when he ran him over. Oh my gosh. What was that about? Why did Fontaine get out of the car when he was blocked in? We're not going to talk about it. The old man frog just sitting at the store all day, and what does that mean for community, but also what does it mean for his own self? We're not going to talk about it. Them at the chicken shop laughing. Black people love to laugh, and that being used as a weapon. We're not going to talk about it. The church scene. We're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about that?
I mean, we might get to that one. We might get to the church scene.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay. I'm not the only one in charge. And then that Diana Ross song playing if there's a cure while they're walking through. We're not going to talk about
Love Hangover.
Yes. This is a little bit rough, but inviting white people to the cookout, so the DJ's at the party and running the show. I was like, what's that about? How he get that job? We gonna talk about it. Yeah, there's a lot we can't talk about. And then also, when we're in the bad guy's office and you see the clones from black to white, that's an impactful picture, right? Okay, thank you. All right, we're not gonna talk about it.
We have to talk about that.
Yes. But my first question.
Because we have a timer. So.
Yes, it's
why we
looking at me
can't talk about
aggressively. So as you guys were watching this film, what aspects of it connected to your experience as a Black American? Ooh, that's tough. Are you ready?
Oh, somebody else get that.
You want me to take it?
Cherry bomb of a question. Let somebody else go first.
I'll say
I
it
can
again.
take it.
Okay, let me repeat it. So how does this movie relate to your personal experience as a Black American? What parts of it really spoke to you, and what parts kind of hurt your feelings a little bit?
Well, a lot of it hurt my feelings. But I think what resonated, what really stuck out is using the hair straightener, straighter is better. Using the creamy crack, aka a relaxer, as a weapon against Black women. To assimilate, to make their hair straighter, more like the majority, more like the norm. That really resonates with me as someone who wears my hair naturally, and has for several years, or a decade. But that really sort of resonated, right? Like, it was just like, oh, and you put it on her, and when she took off that wig, I was like, yes, yes, the creamy crack did not get her. I loved it. I loved that part.
And I think that also speaks to just like the versatility of Black women. Like, at no point did she like succumb to the creamy crack because she has all these options. I don't know. I loved it. Thank you.
Is everyone familiar with the term creamy crack?
Is everyone familiar with the term creamy crack? So because perms are like a white cream that goes on your hair and sits there, and because you have to do it every 6 weeks if you go this route, we call it like you're addicted. It's the creamy crack. And also as Black women moved into a natural hair time, it was a way for us to be like, get off the creamy crack. As a person who has not made it a decade natural yet, I sometimes dream of it, but we'll talk about it later. Anyone else? How does this movie speak to your Black experience? For sure.
Many of you may already know this, so I apologize if you don't, but just to add to what you're saying, Boston University's medical school has that big study that came out about it linking to cancer.
Yes.
Right, so just thinking about, thank you, just thinking about not only your story about the legacy of what that has done for Black women and their hair, but just also thinking about it literally is causing cancer.
Yes, that's a great point. Like, we're keeping it, like, it feels light in the movie, but it's a very real thing that these are chemicals. And
It's causing us harm.
Yes, yes. Anyone else want to answer the question about how does this movie speak to your Black experience? Marcus, I see you.
Yeah, I think just the overall theme of the movie being that these problems that affect like the Black community that are often thought of to be like Black people's fault, subtle as a sledgehammer, they're saying it's all systemic. It's all how the system is designed to work and is working and continuing and needs to be addressed.
That's a great segue into my next question. Like, what messages did you glean from this movie, Alex?
I think the repetition really spoke out more than anything. Not necessarily, that he's a clone living out his same day over and over again, but just in the sense that the roles that everyone plays, they go to LA, and the way that it's shot, it looks like you're almost expecting him to be another clone, another person. Something I was asking a lot is, who is the original? Yeah. Who is like the first person that there was? But it was just so strange and kind of eerie that by the end of the movie, when he's in LA and he's living his life, it's the same life. It's the exact same life, almost as if he's the blueprint or the prototype or the original. But whatever it is, wherever you go, this trope, this stereotype, this cycle is inescapable, not just because of like where you are, but almost like a caste system.
Yeah, and what spoke to me about it was how like you can apply this to also like how highways were built in our city, in our country, and what the problems that the highways being built through black neighborhoods created for black Americans across. That story is repeatable in every major city. So it's about that system, the systemic reasons for why a community is built the way it is.
That's true. I was in a city a couple days ago trying to get to a store that was walking distance from the hotel I was staying at, and it took 35 minutes because I had to walk all the way to an overpass, and that overpass was very far.
What city?
I was in Los Angeles. So
Yeah, yeah.
any place.
Yeah, but yes, to that point, any place will have this problem. Jade, did you want to add something to that one?
It resonated with me. Was that the question?
Sure.
The use of language, and that you can understand and tell that all three of these people were destined for a different life. None of them speak in the typical way that you would expect someone in their position to be
If they
talking
were
or
not.
doing, but they are all stunted because they have been trapped in a position. So all of them were destined for something else, and their language speaks to that.
That's a great segue into this next question. Like the idea that they chose main characters who are a pimp, a lady of the night, and a drug dealer. Like, what message does that also bring to us? Like, what do we see in that characterization? And how does it play into what the movie's maybe trying to accomplish, if you think it's trying to accomplish something?
They all deal in pleasure
Interesting.
and complacency.
Yes. Complacency. Like in the movie with the chicken, they're like, you don't need vices if you got chicken or herbs and spices. You're like, what are we saying, right?
Everything with the chicken
Yeah,
was
the chicken.
terrifying.
Yes, yes.
That's a really good point, Jade. Just, I guess, in the sense that, like, yes, they're all serving pleasure, but now that we have a pimp, we have a drug dealer, and we have a hoe, we're serving sex, we're serving drugs, we're serving entertainment. Now we need to find new ways to get new people. Like, now we have to test out the chicken. Now we have to, let's test out this great Kool-Aid. We have the big three. Now let's find other ways to continue to infiltrate the society. I don't know, I'm getting more creeped out.
Oh yeah, it's very creepy. But I also think it's interesting. What does it say that the man chose those three as pillars of society?
Well, he also chose the minister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it is also looking at it from another direction is that all of us are capable of saving ourselves with a little bit of help.
Okay.
And I think that they called in on their community to come together in the end to save each other. And I think that's something that we can all be a little bit influenced by and think, we can all step out of our stereotypical roles. Those roles that were assigned to us by society, by a mad scientist, by this Bill Nye type guy. There can be other ways that we can be surprising and interesting and read Nancy Drew and have a lot of trophies on the wall and rebound and make a new life.
Yeah, thank you, Julia. Yes, I like that. I was struck by like them leaning into the stereotypes of what our community looks like, what a black community looks like, and then be able to use that as a weapon against the community. I thought that was really interesting. Any other thoughts on that one? Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom says, was the preacher supposed to look like Frederick Douglass?
Preacher Pauly.
He was an orator.
When the beat dropped, I died. 1 second, let me get you a mic, Rhonda. Thank you.
One of the things I wanted to say about the stereotype was that she was not cloned. The clones were the pimp and the drug dealer. So those were the clones. The women were the ones that they were experimenting on underground. They can control us through our hair to make us docile, but they could not clone us.
That's interesting. What do you guys think about that?
I'm not going to give a history lesson on the way that black women were experimented upon, so I'll stop.
But please think about it. But please think about it. Yes.
Well, it's like a natural beauty, right? Like how when we look in the mirror, the first thing most of us go to is, oh God, my hair is a mess, right? And therefore, I'm not pretty. So I think it also played with her mental, because I feel like there was a commercial or something was happening. Maybe it was when she was on the table.
Beautiful.
Yeah, do you feel beautiful and some other stuff, but you are beautiful with straight hair.
Yes.
Yeah. So
When you
it's
guys-
never like we're beautiful
For sure.
Well,
without the relaxer.
well, it's always been an attack on hair first. Because as women were taken, see, I said
Here
I
we go.
wasn't gonna
Here
do
we
it.
go. Here we go.
As women were taken in Africa and they were put aboard slave ships, one of the first things that they do is they cut their hair. They shave their heads. And that was women's crown and glory. So it's always been a psychological attack upon the thing that they could identify. Oh, if we strip them of this, then this begins the process of stripping their humanity and stripping how they see themselves. And then they will act differently.
Okay. No, we appreciate you. And I think if you go back and watch this film, listen to those commercials. There's one, they're like, one of the hair commercials is like, are you dirty? Not with the perm. Like, dirty? What? And there's another one that's like, I just got a new job and a new man. Like, yes.
With straight hair.
Yeah, with straight hair. So yes, the movie, this is a great segue into my next question, guys. You guys are just serving them up.
You're killing it.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
killing
really
it.
good at this. But as a piece of art, I want to talk about this movie as a piece of art, and both the filming choices, the costume choices, all the background choices. I want to talk about how that hit you as you were seeing it for the first time or your second time.
So I've seen it for the first time. Just the kind of tribute to blaxploitation as a genre, I thought was just awesome. Usually when you do blaxploitation, like Black Dynamite, Black Cleopatra, that type of stuff, it's like a period piece. Like it's set in the 70s, but the film quality kind of deceives you into believing that this is going to be a period piece, but it's like a present day contemporary type of movie. But it still feels like funky. You know what I'm saying? It's still got that like Cleopatra Jones feel to it. And the more I watched it, the more I thought it was interesting how like the modern day vernacular, ebonics and slang, it doesn't make the movie stand out. It still feels like 100% blaxploitation, like the super exaggerated pimp. But the drug dealer who, even though he's in like lab clothes, can't stop swagging when he walks. I was like, yo, it's a black man in that suit. Y'all see? I just thought it was all fun. It was all zany. It was all ridiculous. But it was all still just like blaxploitation, still like that good commentary on society.
The soundtrack was amazing.
Yes. Yes.
The choices there.
And the mix between those old school songs from the 70s and funk, and then the new songs. So that was beautiful.
But the cinematography, I think, really harkened back to that era of 70s film. You know, Jade was always pointing out, look at that scene, look at that scene. If you didn't hear her. But the elevator scenes, very, very stylized. Yes, they all have a gun in their hand. You know, it's not a Glock, it's a pistol. And, a gold one at that. So really paying attention to the cinematography, the upside down, wannabe Spike Lee sort of zoom in camera where the protagonist kind of comes to the realization that I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.